Well, my crop farm is getting along very well, but it's still not done, and it will take a lot more time to be done. There is still some plots to be completely bleed out, and and all the stuff. So this is gonna take me a while to complete, and even though it won't be entire complete, because this one here will go away, just like this one here will also go away. That's because I'm gonna plant other type of crop here. One is for those here, the titania, that I cannot still fully grow and breed, so it will take time. And the other one is for the tungsten one, but that's gonna be for another time. And here we have the very slowly glow heat crops. This one is taking the longest to be completed, but that's not what this episode is about, so let's go for the boilers. We can see that I have changed something already. I have some small liquid boilers there, and some of the Tech high pressure coil boilers here, but the main part of it is now here. We finally have a completed large steel steam boiler. And oh boy, that really consumed a lot of steel, more than I foresaw. But first need to fix all the problems, so let's go with the wrench, the soft hammer, not mallet, the hammer, a screwdriver, the crowbar, and the soldering iron, and everything is done. Now we only need to activate it and it's done. However, like I said in the previous episode, I want to automate the activation of it. So this is what we're gonna do. Here is my power storage for now. It is still very small and not very efficient. So let's get an energy detector and place it below it. This is important to be the first step. Then we get our screwdriver and set it to inverted. Why? Because this means that whenever this is not full, it's gonna emit headstone. And we want this to keep full all the time. So doing so, you make it easier. Here we have the boilers part of it. And here is the input bus. But as you can see in the tooltip, this is an ultra low voltage input bus with just one slot. Why so little? Well, there is a reason for that. And here we have the fuel. So we will only need to connect the item conduits to it. That is not that difficult to think, isn't? You'll be inserted. But you here, my friend of this tractor. Let's put first hard robbing. But it just have one input for now, because my plan is to have two. So I want them to be easily fitted. And the trick comes here. Let us say that you active only with a signal. Do you get the point now? Now all I need to do is just run this Ender IO headstone conduit right here. And there we go. The fuel has been centered by the center there, and the large boiler should be running. And as you can see, it's already producing steam. It takes time for the large boiler to actually heat up. If you use a tricorder on it, it will set amount if it's not at 100% efficiency yet. Not yet. Now it is. Now it is producing the most of the steam. That's one reason why I want to make it like this way. Now the thing is, it's going to continue producing steam as long as it receives a signal. And as you can see, it is filling a lot quicker than before. However, when this is full, the signal will be cut out and the fuel will stop being sent here. But what we have here, we will still burn it. So we're gonna have some kind of a reservoir of steam. I could, instead of place it here into the fuel, I could place the controller into the controller block. That will turn the multi-block on and off, but that's not efficient because, as you saw, it took time for it to get to maximum efficiency. And because my power generation is still lower than my power consumption, like here is 4 amperage of high voltage, and I only have 1 amperage of high voltage production and 2 of the medium voltage, I don't have nearly not half of the production required to keep this on. So if I start to run machines, this is gonna empty faster than this can fill, and it will activate the boiler. But doing this will create a backlog here of steam. So even if I start to using a little bit of steam, it's not gonna activate it. And since this is gonna continue run even full, if I put a bus with a lot of slots, it's gonna run for a very long time, and I might throw steam, might be burning fuel and throw steam away by nothing. So that is not very good for me now. But this is not my plan. My plan is to have this one to feed the system and have another one behind it, where you're gonna store more power than this one, and that one we're gonna feed this one. Like you would have the next tier of power, the extreme voltage. I would still use this, but all the extra steam would go for that one. And also, it's a good idea to have a passive way to generate power besides the large boilers. Like I have these liquid boilers here that are gonna consume all the cross oil created to make the charcoal and the aluminum to generate power while it's not activated. So we have some gain of power even so. The large boiler will be activated when we have a huge consumption of power, and the passive one is gonna build power while we are not using it. But because I don't have much storage at the moment, this is not very effective and not easy to show. Once I get to the next tier of power, I'm gonna show you what I meant, and I'll probably have a bigger slot here. But for now, that is good. It's gonna keep me with some power even without me paying attention to it. For now, this is disconnected from the system, but once I have run all the conduits to link there to here, it's gonna feed itself, and when this boiler runs, it's gonna consume the charcoal to make more aluminum, it's gonna make this run, to make those run, and we don't need to worry about power production manually for a good amount of time. Just a little bit more, and this should be full, so we can see that we're gonna turn the signal off. That's why I said that it is important to place the cover before placing the wire. If you place the wire before the cover, the wire will not recognize the signal from the cover. So you need to break and replace it, but doing so will not cause that. We are getting there. It should turn off any second now. And it's off. Now the field will not be gonna fed anymore. And by the way, because of the each alumentum lasts about 6 seconds into the large steam boiler. So this is gonna run for a good amount of time, and that's gonna fill my steel tank a lot, maybe too much. And there we have it. It almost filled completely my tank with just the that's stack of the aluminum they had before. So if I made it even bigger, it's gonna completely waste some of my fuel. But that is our option for now. Later on, when we have something more advanced like the transfer nodes, we can make this system very, very, very packed. Or maybe instead of placing this here, I could also use a GregTech regulator to regulate the amount of fuel inside, so I will only leave it like 4 pieces at all times, so it's not gonna burn too much. Anyway, I have hooked up the production aluminum to my main system, so when the ball is not running, the aluminum is gonna build up, more charcoal gonna be produced, and some creosote will be produced to be consumed by these passive generators. But for now, I need to go grab a little more ores because I need some ores to finish my crop farm. But we're gonna return soon to show something else into this episode. Following the example of the To Asgard player, let's make something about that stone, shall we? Let us make a automatic stone extruder, so we can generate our cobblestone without much trouble. Then let us bring it to our chest buffer here that we had set that purpose before. And now it will slowly build our cobblestone for us here to generate all the composite stone we need so we can make that bedrockium drums. Very simple and very straightforward. And in my opinion, it is very compact, just 3 blocks wide and 2 high. Of course, you need power and a packer for that, but that's not a big trouble, is it? Now, before wrapping up this episode, I want to talk about you with something. If you ever try to find my videos on YouTube, you probably did not come across it. For some reason, my videos aren't showing up. Well, I discovered why, and it is so kind of simple and stupid that I don't know if it is my fault or YouTube fault. If you search it for InfiTech true without space, that was what my title always contained, and set to the updating upload time and do not accept the Google suggestion of InfiTech space true, you find it. So the reason why my videos wasn't showing up is because in my title it was InfiTech with two together, not with a space. And for some reason YouTube they think it is a completely different word. So I have been updating slowly my video's title to have the space, and they all start to show into the search for InfiTech space 2. And I always use the upload time so I know which YouTubers are actually still active. I have lost the time when the YouTube suggests me a video I started watching because it was interesting, and then I discovered that shortly he had stopped making that videos, and it was a long time ago. I lost the count of how many YouTubers I started watching because of a series that he dropped soon after and never ever say that he's going to do that. So this is gonna be for this episode. I hope you like my automation of power. This was God, thank you for watching and see you next time.